first day was mostly covering ground on the interstate since we decided to tackle this leg of the trip in one big push. It made for a long day but was worth it in the end, and once you get past Bakersfield as you head east, the drive actually offers some really nice desert views. We turned north a little before dark and headed into the preserve. We made our way off pavement, glad to finally be on some dirt after a long day grinding on concrete and asphalt. We were making our way towards the camp we had stayed at a couple of years ago. It is dispersed camping tucked into boulder piles at the base of Granite Mountains. We pulled into camp and were met by the rest of our eagerly awaiting party.
We made it. Gotta take pictures. But Grandpa Steven's already got stuff cooking. Hi, Grandpa Steven.
Hey, how are you?
We made it.
You finally got here, yay!
Look at
I just
cooking stuff on
got the jambalaya going.
Oh my goodness.
We set camp, had some dinner, and racked out after a long day. Tired, but excited to finally be here. Alright, first morning. Got out here a little late yesterday. We didn't finish packing until about 1 o'clock in the morning the night. Well, technical difficulties are going to happen sometimes, and this trip was no exception. One of our GoPro batteries was giving us some issues. It would basically go from 50% charge down to nothing all of a sudden and be completely dead. That, coupled with the fact that I forgot to bring the solar panels to charge the Jackery, which is what I charge everything, including the other GoPro batteries off of, made it a little hard at times to keep the camera running. By the time I'd gotten everything charged back up and the camera was rolling again, we'd left camp and headed out for a little hike in the boulder piles we were camped in. It was a really cool hike, actually. We'd been back there a couple years ago. This time around, we'd gotten a lot more rain this year, so a lot greener, a lot of cactuses and flowers blooming. Really pretty, really cool hike. The granite boulders and mountains and stuff were pretty amazing. So, yeah, really enjoyed it. This is actually our second night in camp, but we were so tired yesterday we didn't bother filming anything because frankly we just didn't feel like it. So day 2, night 2, I'm gonna do some steak and potatoes for dinner. Got the potatoes around the fire, get those warmed up and ready. And we're gonna try some filet mignons on Dad's fire disc and see how that turns out. We had jambalaya last night that he made, and it was super good, so hopefully these steaks will turn out tonight. We'll see. No, there's not big. It's a really open expanse over there.
What do you got going on over here?
Some fresh fruit.
Is that you, Sean?
Got some filet mignon.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna
I'm just gonna keep that.
throw on the fire disc in a minute here and see how it turns out. I'm just gonna do a little bit of salt and pepper on them. Throw some butter in with them. Give them a good baste while they're searing. Then move them up onto the rack for a couple minutes and see how they do. Need some onions, some potatoes, and some foil on the fire. I think should have a pretty good dinner tonight.
Oops, gotta check the top too.
Oh yeah, potatoes are good. This onion's going back on with the rest of them.
Oh, that onion looks snappy.
Yeah, that should be pretty good.
We're trying to get little onion pieces like this to stick into the fire.
Oh yeah.
Look at our so far progress. Me and Archer found a jackpot a second ago.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and now a lot of them are like coyotes come.
Alright.
Guns right here.
Pretty good spread here. Potatoes and onions.
Definitely
Got some steaks in there. Wine to go with everything. Some salads. Get this unwrapped and eat. Turned out pretty good. Some filet mignon. Nice and rare the way it should be. Potatoes, onions, everything was cooked just right. So, I'm gonna sit down and enjoy this. Everyone enjoyed dinner and a couple drinks around the fire afterwards, while the boys made, according to them, their famous s'mores. Everyone went to bed full and happy that night, ready to move on in the morning and cover some more ground. We broke camp and headed east the next morning, stopping to air down before heading further into the preserve. We were headed for Fauché Pass, which links the west side of the preserve to what I would call the central part. This road was a little bit rough 3 years ago, but was pretty badly beat up this time around from the heavy rains this past winter.
Street, saying hello to the people I meet, and I'm killing my love underneath the sun, triggering down like the smoking gun. Yeah, I ain't got no plans, just a rusty voice and an empty gas can. My car's broken down a mile behind, and I've got my life set on rewind, baby. I ain't got no plans, just a rusty voice and an empty gas can. My car's broken down a mile behind, and I've got my life set on rewind, baby.
Making our way over the pass, we stumbled across this guy sunning himself on the side of the road. It is hard to tell in the video, but we noticed a slight shade of green in his colorization. We later found out this was a Mojave green rattlesnake. Though not very aggressive, they inject both neurotoxin and hemotoxin when they bite, making them extremely deadly. This one was moving slowly and pretty docile at first, then he slithered into a bush and curled up into a striking position and even rattled a little. Chances are he had never encountered humans or vehicles before. Grandpa Tracy, being ever fearless, got in close for some pictures, and then we left him alone to go about his day.
To the people I meet, and I'm killing my love underneath the sun, triggering down like the smoking gun. Yeah, I ain't got no plans, just a rusty voice and an empty gas can. My car's broken down a mile behind, and I've got my life set on rewind, baby. I ain't got no plans, just a rusty voice and an empty gas can. My car's broken down a mile behind, and I've got my life set on rewind, baby.
We had a little pavement between us and our next camp, so we aired up and got on the road. We pulled into hole-in-the-wall campground late in the afternoon and started setting up. For anyone thinking about getting a rooftop tent, here's a look at what my third time deploying it looked like to give you an idea of how easy they are to set up. Campground. We skipped Bonanza Mine today. Just kind of ran out of time. Figured we better just get over here and find camp before we had to do it in the dark. There's some running water here, potable running water. Took advantage of that and watered up. Got the little shower out. Set up the privacy tent. Get some showers in tonight and relax a little bit. I think we're gonna try and go do the ring trail maybe in a little bit here. Kind of waiting for it to cool down. Actually got pretty warm today, so just kind of hanging out, recharging before we go do that. And then come back and cook some chicken for dinner, it sounds like.
Chicken in there. Shakir. Boiling some water. Just heating some water. We got a whole big old pack of tortellinis we're gonna throw in there. We have chicken, tortellinis, and some zucchini spears. Gonna be pretty good.
Alright, We get dinner eaten and start putting stuff away. It's getting a little windy, so I'm gonna batten down the hatches and get ready in case it really picks up tonight. Thankfully, the wind subsided and everyone was able to enjoy the night. We went to bed early, showered, full, and ready for some rest. Well, there's a little bit of wind last night, but nothing too bad. The worst part of last night was my children sleeping like absolute lunatics. Other than that, though, I'll take that over a windstorm, I guess. Have some breakfast, some bacon and eggs or something real quick, and figure out what we're going to do with the rest of our day. We got the ring loop here at Hole in the Wall we might go do. It's already 8 o'clock, though, so we got some ground to cover today. Let's see where we end up and what we do. Hole in the Wall gets its name from being, well, a literal hole in a wall of rock. The ring loop trail takes you through that hole from one side of the wall to the other. It's a short hike and an interesting feature to spend a little time exploring. I recommend paying attention and not doing it backwards like we did, though, and you will end the hike moving downhill instead of up a loose sand wash with an uphill incline. With so many roads in the preserve being closed from storm damage the past winter, we hopped on Highway 40 and headed east. We stopped in Finner so the big trucks could watch the Toyotas fuel up. One advantage of a full-size diesel is a 400-plus mile range. I top up as a rule of thumb anytime there is fuel, but only put about 3 or 4 gallons in this time. We had planned to stop at the Goff Schoolhouse, which is a sort of museum of modern artifacts salvaged from the desert, but it was closed. So we headed back into the preserve on a road that could not decide whether it was paved or not. Before long, though, it had made its mind up, and we were thankfully back on dirt again. We finally made it to our next destination, the New York mountains. We hunted around for camp for a while and eventually settled on the first fire ring we had passed. We picked out our spots and settled in after stretching our legs and checking out camp. Everyone was happy but hungry, so dinner was the next order of business. Alright, we finally settled on a campsite. Got everything set up, luckily before dark. Having tacos, some pre-marinated carne asada stuff. I don't know. Something quick and easy.
I'm all loader.
You're what? You're a loader? Taco loader?
What's going on over there, Sawyer? What are you making?
My taco.
What kind of taco is it?
A beef taco.
We munched some dinner, then hung out around the fire for a bit before getting some sleep before starting our long day the next morning. Unfortunately, I forgot the solar panels for the Jackery, so I'm having a little trouble keeping things charged up. Charge the Jackery while we're driving, but we've been staying at spots for a couple nights at a time, which is a little unusual, but also doesn't give us an opportunity to charge the Jackery with the truck. At any rate, we're kind of got everything packed away. We're going to stay here again tonight. We're in the New York mountains. We're going to take a hike up to Giant Ledge Mine and check that out. So we're going to get going. In the next episode, we will be hiking along desert streams, exploring abandoned mines, meeting some more locals, and much more. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to catch the rest of the adventure. Stay safe and happy trails.